Here to talk story with us. We want to say good morning to Senator Mazie Hirono.
Good morning, Shane.
Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to talk with us this morning.
Glad to be with you.
You know, Senator, it's a very pivotal time in history here in Hawaii with the COVID-19 pandemic. Senator, can we ask you a few questions? Because I have a whole lot of them. Since the pandemic started, many concerns, especially here on the island of Maui. One of the main ones would be the outlook of tourism for our economic structure here in Hawaii.
The tourism in Hawaii, most of our tourists, also to Maui, come from the mainland. And so in order for people on the mainland to feel safe to travel, we need to have really a national testing program, and we need to do everything we can with other countries to develop a vaccine. Until we can do that, it's kind of hard to picture millions of tourists coming back to Hawaii. And so those things that need to happen, which is one of the reasons that we've been pushing so hard for national testing so that we can really address this pandemic as a healthcare crisis that it is. Unfortunately, the president is not taking this as a national issue, and he's leaving it all up to the governors. So it's been quite the challenge. At the same time, once we do start to get tourists, let's say that the vaccine has not been developed yet, we have to develop processes to make sure that all those people getting off the plane are not carrying the virus with them. There are a number of things that still need to happen. I'd say at the same time, this is a chance for us to support, for example, our ag people, so that we can consume more of the food that we grow ourselves. And I think this pandemic has shown a number of things. One, that we really should push ahead to diversify our economy, because reliance on tourism, good as it is, often we don't have control over what's happening in the rest of the world. So diversifying our economy by really pushing for more STEM education, science, technology, engineering, and math, because once we get to some kind of normal posture, we're going to need a lot more people with those kinds of backgrounds. We can support our ag to a far greater extent. We can put in a lot more support for infrastructure. And I would say that the energy sector, Hawaii is in the lead in alternative and renewable energy, so we can create more jobs along those lines. And then we're going to need a lot more people in the healthcare profession. So those are most of the things that I think we can really put a lot of support on during as we go forward.
I think that has been the major concern, I believe, is the economic viability of Hawaii, being that tourism, we rely on tourism so much.
Yes, and of course, it's not just us. The three hardest hit states are Michigan, Nevada, and Hawaii. And we all rely very heavily on tourism. And so we are not alone. This is one of the reasons that I'm pushing so hard, along with my fellow Democratic senators, to support huge sums of money for the state to meet their budget shortfalls. Otherwise, we're going to have even more challenges for our workers, because the state government is going to probably be short about $1 billion. And we should send federal money to support the states with their budget shortfalls. Otherwise, we're going to see big programmatic cuts as well as potential furloughs of workers. That would be a bad thing.
Another concern I've been really having a lot of questions about is how will our children be returning to school? I know it's in the hands of the Department of Education, but are we discussing that on the level where you're at?
Oh, yes. And there was some money in the CARES Act to help the states with putting together distance learning, for example, and connecting up the students to the internet. That still hasn't happened the way for all the kids as we would like. And so the education of our kids is a continuing concern for a lot of us. And I think we need to really work with the states and support the states in how they're going to open up the schools safely. I know that the superintendent has indicated that they're looking to open up the schools in the fall, and so is the University of Hawaii. But I know that things are not just going to be, hey, all you kids, you can all come back to school.
Right.
I don't think we can do it that way. And so federal support will, I hope, continue to help the states figure out, because they might need to have staggered hours. They may need to put up more buildings. There are a number of things that we need to do to get schools ready for our kids.
Well, Senator, we definitely have our work cut out for us. It's becoming a new normal, the way we are living life, and it's probably become a new way of being a senator for yourself.
So we're all teleworking, and I'm grateful that we can telework, and not everybody can. And so all the people who can't telework, we have to make sure that when they do get back to work, and I know that Maui is opening up some areas, the malls and hairdressers, etc. But people coming back to work have to be doing it in a safe way. So that means, the distancing, the fewer customers at a time, and all of that. And until we can get an effective vaccine, and until we can get probably a better testing regime in place, these are the things that we're going to need to do. And I'm grateful that Hawaii people are mainly, we're very aware of the need to do things safely.
I think it has a lot to do with our culture. Some of the guidelines that have been put in place, most of us already practice, well, besides the mask wearing and stuff, but we are very aware here in Hawaii, and we commend our residents.
And when people say, this is only affecting seniors and some of them are going to die, that is the most callous way of looking at things.
Of course, totally. And the need for more medical workers or in that field will be needed as we pray for a vaccine to get here soon.
And then the other thing that a lot of people in Hawaii rely on is the Postal Service. And so the next federal bill that we pass, we better have some support for the Postal Service. Otherwise, they have been very hard hit because of this pandemic too. And so they could stop postal deliveries in a few short months if we don't provide them money. And lots of people rely on medications delivered, and we're going to be voting by mail. We're sending in our census information by mail. All of those things are critical that we have the Postal Service going in. So that's another huge part of what I'd like to see support for. And unfortunately, the president is not a big fan of supporting the Postal Service. We have a battle on that front too.
So many battles to take care of, and so many fires to extinguish out there.
Yes.
Awesome. Well,
but we're in this together.
Yes, we are. And we've been in it together since day one, and we'll remain here in the state of Hawaii. And Senator, you don't get to see our Maui people very often. Any last words to our Maui people before we leave here?
I want to thank everybody on Maui for doing everything they can, not only to protect themselves and their families, but all the people around them. I think the aloha spirit definitely is alive and well on Maui. And I just extend my aloha, stay safe, and be kind. Thank you very much. I'm proud to represent all of you.
Well, we wish you the best, Senator, and we support you. And like you said, we are in this together. Thank you for your call this morning.
Thank you, everybody. Take care.
Aloha.
Bye.